Women notice everything. Women remember everything. And women want to be treated special and secured. So why don't we take advantage of this? Time to be chivalrous. Time for etiquette. Look, anyone can open doors, throw a coat on her, even help her with her coat. But not everyone can do it with poise, charm, and deliberate confidence. Don't just do these things for the sake of doing them, or worse yet, have a scarcity mindset. You don't say, "Oh, I hope she likes me." Have an abundance mindset. You tell yourself from the start, "I hope I like her." Act like you're used to treating a beautiful woman with etiquette chivalry. "Oh, but Maddox, that's not fair. You want me to go above and beyond to make her feel like a lady?" Yes. And guess what? Life's not fair. There are many disadvantages of being a woman. This is one advantage. It's called female privilege. And one of the things I want to say here before we begin and doing my research on this particular topic in combination of my own experiences, one of the things I really picked up on, and I got to mention this, is the feminist movement that's looking to destroy chivalry. In their defense, the perception is men view women weaker or less than, and therefore they need this help. I'm going to take today's discussion as men and women are equals, and you're going out of your way for chivalrous etiquette, not because you're looking down, not implying that you can't handle this particular thing, not saying you can't protect yourself, you're unable to afford your own meal, you're incapable of opening up your car door. I'm not saying that one bit. I am taking it from a chivalrous etiquette point of view of being nice, equal, but different. We all give love and we all receive love in 5 different ways: words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch. Why is that important? Because I need you to have this in the back of your mind. And I want you to find out what this woman, what her top love languages are that you need to discover. This will force you to be more engaging when you're out with a woman. So the whole idea here is, this is not a 10-step process. Oh, wow, I just checked the boxes and I did all 10 things. I want you to have the right mindset on why you're actually doing something. So let's go. Never, ever, ever, ever be late. Ever. So low class. There are exceptions. There are going to be exceptions to all these. Hopefully I don't keep saying there are exceptions throughout this whole video. We have a saying on Wall Street: if you're not 15 minutes early, you're late. You also want to call when you say you want to call. And I know we're in a texting society, and I know it's easier to text. It's quick response. I don't feel like talking on the phone. But hey guys, you guys got to separate the texting from the real live phone call. And how I go about doing this is anything that needs to be quick, hey, running late, or hey, how about dinner this Friday? I get that with a text or just a quick question. Hey, good morning, right? Hey, good night. Hey, love you throughout the day. Totally get it. Totally get it. But you want to have a conversation with someone, you need to be on the phone. The phone is your priority. The phone gives you the connection and compatibility. Well, Maddox, what happens if she doesn't want to talk on the phone? Newsflash, she may not be the right person for you then. Why force it? Why go out to dinner with someone who doesn't want to talk to you on the phone? Gee, how's the dinner going to be? You don't get involved with any game plan whatsoever. Again, women can do anything, but I want you to have the attitude that you're there to protect, secure, and protect their heart. You want to show them that they're the number one priority. As far as appearance, I got to tell you guys, even before I was born, this trend started a long time ago. I love looking at these old pictures of people at ball games are all dressed up. People on airplanes are all dressed up, these old black and white photos. And for some reason, at some point, there's been a decline in society. And I'm not just talking only dress, and overall there's been a decline in society, but in this case, I'm just talking about dress. I mean, I don't know what to tell you guys, but as a rule of thumb, no logo items when you're out on a date, right? That includes clothing name brand, right? Right off the bat, that nips the casual wear. And guys, please, 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 please. I see this all the time. No sports logos. I mean, guys throwing on hats with their favorite team, jackets, shirts. I mean, I get it, right? I want to throw on an old Dodgers shirt. You're taking your small kids and your spouse out to a quick meal or whatever. Totally get it. You got to throw on the dad outfit, but you're out with a woman and you want to have that class act and show that you put some effort and tell that woman like, oh, wow, he must really care about me. Now, I have a certain style. It doesn't mean you have a certain style. So let me start off by being politically correct, if you will. Like I said, I'm an investment professional by day. So naturally, that's going to progress into like I wear a lot of suits with no ties. I have like this GQ type of look, if you will. GQ is relatively speaking, of course, but it tends to follow what most people have in mind. With that being said, if you're a biker type dude, wear the GQ look that that bikers wear, right? If you're a rock and roll type of dude, then you dress like a rock and roll. If you're an artist, then a lot of times you kind of dress on how what you do for a living. And I don't mean that in an insulting way. It just kind of fits, right? Like for example, if a woman is an interior designer, she probably has a certain flair to herself or her wear on what she wears. If you're a professional woman, you tend to have more of a professional type look. But again, it could be the complete opposite. People have alter egos, and you can look completely different. But I will say this to avoid the non-politically correctness: there is a certain standard that, especially for men, I mean, guys, we have it easy in this space, right? I mean, women, 5-star, elegant cocktail dress, beautiful dress, formal attire, all the way down to whatever, right? With men, we can get away with a nice pair of slacks and a shirt. Now, that's all relatively speaking on the quality and the types of slacks and high end or low end, and same thing with the shirt. I can pretty much get away with this shirt on right now. I can pretty much get away with just about anything, right? If I go to a wedding, I throw a blazer on top of it. If I'm out to dinner, I look like this. If I'm out to lunch, I roll up the sleeves, right? You can kind of get away with a nice white shirt as a guy. So it should be pretty easy. It's easier for the guy. So no excuses, guys. Come on. Guess what, guys? You plan the date, okay? You make the reservation. Bonus, you send out an invite. When I use Open Tables app, it gives me the opportunity to text the woman and forward the invite right to her text. I can also do a calendar invite with it. And guys, we've all done it. And by the idea that you're watching this video shows that you want to improve yourself. We've all done it before. I get caught up into it. I don't do this anymore. It's rare, I should say, because I'm not perfect. Don't get caught up in the whole beta simp mentality. Beta simps, I mean, you guys can't book a freaking reservation for the life of you. You guys are lucky to score a date. I apologize. This is not a black shirt video. This is a white shirt video, but I got to really hit home on this because it could be a turnoff to the woman and she'll actually cancel on you. Don't get caught up in like, where do you? Oh, okay, yeah, this Friday works. Oh, okay, 6 o'clock, 7. Well, no. How about I'm off at work at 5, and by the time okay, how's 8 o'clock? Okay. Well, how about this restaurant? Do we meet on the west side in L.A.? Do we meet over here? You want to do something? Wait, where do you live? Is Italian okay? What? I mean, Jude, just freaking book the dang thing, right? Best case scenario, majority of the time, she's gonna say, yeah, that's great, right? Once in a while, you'll get the whole like, well, I don't like that particular. Oh, okay, boom, boom, boom. And she'll recommend, okay, fine. But this is easy, guys. This is easy. Let's not stretch this out, make this a couple hours long of going back and forth. It would be an absolute turnoff to the woman, right? Absolute if you don't take control right off the bat. You want to make sure you're opening the car door. And bonus time, folks, bonus. When you open up the car door, you take her hand and escort her in the car. That's a bonus. She doesn't see that often. Now, it depends on the angle. If you're walking towards the front of the car, you open up the car door, you're now putting the door in front of you, and now she's able to walk in. So in that particular case, it wouldn't work. Now, here's also a bonus. When she's getting out of the car, assuming that she's still in the car, you come around, you open up the car door for her, you actually take her hand and escort her out of the car. An ultra mandatory bonus. It's not even a bonus. It's like, guys, come on. If she's wearing a dress or short skirt, don't look down. As far as entering into the restaurant, like a building door, you always escort a woman into the restaurant with your back of your hand down her lower back, and you escort her in through the restaurant. Women love that. Bonus time. Never walk in front of a woman unless you're holding her hand. For example, when the host is escorting you to the table, you're meandering through the restaurant, right? There's round tables, there's booths, there's square tables. She's showing you the way, right? If you allow the woman to walk in front of you, now you're putting the onus on her to follow the hostess. Again, I said this in the beginning. Is she capable of doing that? Abso-freaking-lutely, okay? But it's your job to alleviate that from her. Your job is to follow the hostess. So now you're walking in front of the woman, you hold her hand, and now you're guiding her through the restaurant to go sit down. There are a few exceptions. For example, you're going up the stairs or up an escalator, you want to be behind the woman. Why is that? The whole idea is she's wearing a long dress, stilettos, she can perhaps fall down, you're there to catch her. The opposite's also true. Going down the escalator, going down the staircase, you want to be in front, again, to break her fall just in case. When you approach the table, you want to help her take off her coat and neatly fold it over, lay it over her chair, or put it in the booth next to her. Bonus time, when you actually at the end of the date and you help her put on her coat, what you want to do is pinch the shoulders up and kind of adjust it and make sure the coat correctly lays over her. Extra bonus time. What you want to do is every woman, after she puts her coat on, always adjusts her hair, right? And the hair flaps over the coat. What you want to do is actually do that for her. So the coat goes on, you help her put her coat back on, and then you take her hair and you put it over her coat. That will earn you extra brownie points. I guarantee 99% of the men do not do that. When you sit down, you want to make sure you're facing the front door in the restaurant. So when you position her chair, you want to make sure her chair is towards the door. Again, it's that whole protection. You're capable of watching who's actually entering the place. So what you want to do, just like everybody else does, is pull out her chair, correct? But you're going to do it a little differently. When normal people do it, they pull out her chair, she sits down, and what is she doing? She's scooting the chair, scooting it back in, right? If you want to deal extra points, hold the chair back. As she's sitting down, you're sliding the chair in, so now the back of her back hits the back of the chair, and when she sits down, she's actually sliding forward already, versus her have to push in the chair or sliding the chair forward. This will help her get positioned at the table, and you're responsible for that. When ordering your food, I take two approaches. I'm known for ordering the drink for her. I already know what she wants, or she's told me. I order the drinks for her. With the exception of food, what I do is I allow her to order the food, but she goes first. And that's all subjective. She may want you to order her food too, or either way, she'd rather do it herself. That's up to you and what your situation holds. You definitely want to save the last bite for her, just in case. At least offer it. And what you also want to do is maintain eye contact, right? You want to be engaging. I actually focus on one eye. It helps me focus, to stay laser focused. It helps me stay engaged. It actually helps me listen, especially in a loud restaurant. Things can, get a lot of commotion. I'm staring at her right in her face, right in her eye, and I'm paying attention to her. Which brings up an interesting point, guys. Whether you're in the restaurant, with your friends, whatever, I can't stress this enough. Please, 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 please do not look at another woman. And you know what I mean by that, okay? I can tell you so many times, female friends, oh, he's looking over my shoulder, and I knew there was a beautiful woman sitting behind there. Or every time the waitress comes by, he looks down, right? He kind of does the ogle thing, checking her out. You guys, that's beta sip, man. It just shows that you're not used to looking at beautiful women, okay? That is you're insulting yourself. I know I'm a guy. No. That is bad. That's a turnoff for a woman. And I don't care who they are. I don't care if they're female colleagues, female friends, your mom, your friend's mom. I don't care. Women will always test you. And please, obviously I want you to do it for the right reasons, Do it for the wrong reasons, okay? For example, you see a smoking hot girl to your right. I don't care who it is, your date, your female friends, your best friend's mom, whoever is on your left. I guarantee you, and I've been in this spot so many times, you can feel them looking at you. They're testing you to see if you're going to turn around and look to the right, okay? You have to pass their test at all costs. I'm being tongue-in-cheek, but I'm also being serious about this. It sounds like a no-brainer, but please, guys, don't do this. In today's world, I get it, but the rules still apply. Do not be on your phone. As a matter of fact, I'm so used to setting my phone on the table in a business setting, also in a casual setting, I'm used to doing that. If you're out to dinner with a woman, I just assume leave your phone in your back pocket, okay? I get it, you're feeling it vibrate, you get antsy, I get it, there's a psychological thing there. If you have to do it, she gets up and goes use the restroom, or she needs to get up and make a phone call, whatever. Fine, be on your phone for a quick 30 seconds, test, take a look at texts or whatever. And again, there are exceptions. Do you have the babysitter at home, right? You gotta, but disclose that ahead of time. Hey, just wanted to give you a heads up. I got the babysitter at home. I'm gonna put the phone here. Just mean no disrespect. If you say it ahead of time, right? You're a doctor. Hey, I'm on call tonight. Trust me, you establish that ahead of time, we're cool. Always, always, always treat the wait staff, especially women, with tremendous kindness and politeness. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. This goes a long way. And yes, and yes, and yes. You pay. Shocker. I get it. I get it. I get it. Unless it's established ahead of time, right? Hey, we're going to go Dutch. I'm talking about in a normal setting where you picked up on a woman, you asked her out. You better have a dang good reason why you're not paying. The bias is you're paying unless otherwise disclosed. Very simple as that. Now, here's the clincher. Do you get something in return for paying? Absolutely. Right now, the women are freaking out, and I know what they're thinking. And before you think that, there is something that the men deserves by paying. They deserve your respect. I didn't think I was going to say that, did you? They deserve your respect. So this is what separates the high-value woman from anybody else. A high-value woman will show respect. Hey, you know what, Michael? I just want to thank you for tonight. Thank you for paying for dinner. It's very simple. A high-value woman will always thank you. Trust me. Bonus time. When it's time to leave, you go up and approach her, you extend your hand out, and you help her lift off the chair. You help her out of the booth. When dancing with a woman, if your date involves dancing, don't just have your left hand up and your right hand behind her back and sloppy body language, or you look weak. This is how you do it. You actually take your left hand, grab her left hand like this. Grab it near the wrist, slide it down, lift it up, and now you're confidently like this. And the way you engaged her, the way you had control with her, it's impressive. Then you take your right hand, put it on her shoulder, and then slide it back down to her shoulder blade. And this is the ultimate bonus. And I learned this taking dance lessons. Go like this, right? Just a slight little tug. It just tells the woman oh, wow, right? Oh my gosh, he's in command. He's gonna lead the dance, right? You show that confidence when you're doing that. Had to throw that in. When you're walking with your woman on the sidewalk, you wanna make sure you're near the traffic. So you're always on the outside of the sidewalk, again, for that protection reasons. During bad weather, guess what? You're gonna drop off your date by the front door, and then you go park the car and you walk in the restaurant in the rain. At the end of the night, you walk in the parking lot in the rain, grab your car, come back and pick her up. At the end of the night, there usually was one scenario, but now there's two scenarios I'm gonna put you through. The second one's really easy. The first one, I gotta get a point across. You're gonna walk her to the door. I personally don't park in the driveway. I learned that in business. It's just kind of rude. So I park on the street, open the car door, you escort her to her front door. Now guys, this is where I need you guys to have a high EQ, okay? This is where you need to have high emotional intelligence. I get it, I'm biased, right? I need connection. I need compatibility. I need that sexual tension. That's how it works with me. Okay, I get it. If you have this stoic conversation, you talk about the price of tea in China, and photosynthesis at dinner time, and it's just a stoic evening, right? Clearly, I'm not gonna have the desire to kiss the woman. I don't feel the connection. I mean, I don't feel it, right? I don't feel it at all. So you need to have a high EQ. You also need to pick up on the fact, and even more importantly, because I hear this from my female friends, oh, he tried to kiss me and I just turned the cheek and he kissed me on the cheek. You need to know that you're not gonna be put in the spot where you do get rejected. It's very simple. Right? So you have to have a high EQ at this moment. But I do recommend some sort of physical touch, right? If the date was a disaster, and I don't mean like disaster where things are all over the place, I just mean like, oh my God, we just weren't on the same page. Fine, shake her hand or walk her up, do the wave, hey, nice meeting you, appreciate the lovely evening. But at a minimum, kiss her forehead, which I don't do. I do the cheek, and I'm also a hugger. At a minimum, I hug. I always do that. But you have to feel that EQ, right? If you're gonna go in and you're gonna make a move and actually kiss her at the end of the night. It's just that simple. You either know or you don't know. There is an exception. If you're kind of on the fence, and rightfully so, if you would film that conversation, I'm watching you, I would feel, okay, it's kind of on the fence. The women, what they tend to do is they tend to stare deep in your eyes, and their body language tends to be more open, and they're giving you that opportunity because they want you to make that move. If you do feel that, that's your way of doing that, okay? You're giving her what she wants. She wants to be kissed at the end of the evening. Because if you don't, and she wants to, then she'll think you're not interested in her. So hopefully that's clear. And as a side note, guys, I'm not gonna dive too deep into this. If you're finding yourself getting rejected at the end of the night from a kiss, you need to do what I call pre-qual in Wall Street, okay? You need to profile more. Maybe the first date was rushed, okay? You got to spend a conversation with her on the phone, okay? Maybe you need to do a coffee date. Maybe, at a minimum, do a lunch date. Do a lunch date. Between the phone conversation and the lunch date, by the time you go to a dinner date, wow, everybody's rocking and rolling, right? We know each other by now, okay? So if you find yourself constantly getting rejected, maybe spend some more time on the front end to get to know that person, or maybe, hey, it's just out of luck. The second thing is, I know in today's society, we tend to meet people at restaurants. And if that's the case, she's leaving the restaurant, she's going home. At a minimum, guys, you guys got to do this. I would say it's a bonus, but I would say it's at a minimum, you need to text her and say, did you make it home safely? Again, you're showing her that protection, you're showing that you care, and you want to make sure she got home correctly. And guys, trust me, we all know the old saying, a way to a man's heart is through his stomach. But trust me, guys, trust me, for different reasons. Men, we love the food. Women, they love the prep. They love the thought. They love the idea that you've gone out of the way. So, you need to prep a meal for your woman. Trust me, she will love it. Not for the food stuff, but the ideal mentality behind the scenes. For example, you can totally butcher that meal, and you guys were forced to order Chinese, you guys were forced to order a pizza that night. She will still be impressed by you. She'll still have feelings for you. Why? Because it's the mentality behind the scenes. The more you put an effort into it, the better it is for her, and the better she feels about you. You can also combine it into a romantic evening where, hey, come over. I'm going to start preparing a meal for you around 5:30, but if you want to show up at 6 and you want to help out, now you're kind of flirting in the kitchen. You're kind of working side by side together. And again, she's so impressed that you're going the extra mile to provide this awesome meal, appropriate table setting. The more hard work she picks up on it, the more turned on she's going to be. Let me give you some final thoughts on some controversial items. Very controversial. I see both sides. They're worth mentioning. I will give my biases on both sides of it. The first one is checking in with you during the date. If done correctly, and if you're a beta simp rookie, you will botch this. You will lose all confidence at all costs. The women will look down on you if you do this. Yeah, is this okay? I hope you like this restaurant, right? You're coming across, I'm over exaggerating to make a point, but if you come across as a beta simp, she'll pick up on the fact like, oh wow, this guy's never really done this before. maybe I'm too good for this guy. He's not used to dating a high value woman. Correct? This is the way you do it. If you're going to pull that off, hey, yeah, what do you think of the place? I heard good things about it. At first I was a little iffy, but it's my first time being here. Or maybe you've been there before. Hey, at first, when I first came here before, I wasn't really sure, but I love the vibe. I love the bar that sits over there and the food, a little atmosphere. I mean, yeah, what'd you think about this lively place? See, now you're coming across with confidence. So that's why I call it controversial. It can be done, but it's got to be done right. Another thing that's controversial is thoughtful gifts. Again, guys, you guys beta simp on me, right? You're showing up with flowers on every first date. You're showing up with flowers. That is a beta simp move. Why is that? All of a sudden now you become involved with this woman. 3 months later, 6 months later, now you show up with flowers. Who cares? She already knows you showed up with flowers on the first date. That means you show up with flowers on all your first dates. So you buying me flowers is meaningless. Get my point? Now, 2 things that I found that work great with thoughtful gifts. One is you're meeting someone online. And online, you discover in her profile that she likes dark chocolates. Maybe you're getting fixed up with someone, right? And that person who fixes you up tells you that. Maybe you've already had a phone conversation. You guys exchange phone numbers through a friend or whatever the situation is. And you find out she likes dark chocolates, right? You show up to the first date, guess what? You have a dark chocolate bar. And I'm talking something that's less than $10. You don't go simpy and make it $100. You show up this big old box of dark chocolates, right? You overdo it. You just have a little gesture and the woman appreciates that. It is a strong confidence move. It shows that you listened. It could be done in a beta simp way or it could be done in a confident way. You will, on your delivery, will determine these controversial items if they work or don't work. Now, here's 3 rules that I've discovered, and by all means, if I'm missing something, you guys got to tell me in the comments. Here's 3 rules that are okay to break. And I don't mean okay to break like, well, in today's society, you don't need to pull out a chair for a woman anymore. Oh, you don't need to open up a car door. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about real world, that it's okay to break, and here's the reason why. You're the one that's supposed to go first during a turnstile. And if you know what a turnstile is, it's these revolving doors that are in buildings. Now, in today's modern buildings, these things are automatic. As soon as you walk up, it has the motion sensor, they automatically spin, they let you in the building, they let you out the building. But the old school way is they're manual. So why do you go first? You go first for 2 reasons. One is you put your hand on that dirty rail filled with COVID and flu and bacteria that everybody else puts their dirty hands on. That's the number 1 reason why. You save the woman from doing that herself. And then second, you're in charge of pushing it. So you go out or in a building, and then she hops into the next stall right behind you, and you're pushing that door in that 360 fashion, and then you exit, and it's still spinning, and now the woman exit. Or in one case, you could be entering the building. That is why it's done that way. Now, why is it okay to break that rule? Most women don't know that's one of the few times the man goes first, right? So if you let the woman go in first, it shows you have etiquette. Again, you're guiding the woman into the restaurant. Like I said to you earlier, you would have that same mentality and she won't think of anything wrong. It could backfire because like, oh wow, he went first, he cut in front of me and he went first. But again, you're trying to do the right thing, but it ends up backfiring. Minor thing, but it's okay to break that rule. This is what's very important. It can backfire on you. When you enter a cab and when you enter a ride share, right? What happens is you're on the right-hand side of the road. So the car pulls up from the right on the right-hand side of the road. What happens? You open up the car door, you're on the passenger side. The man is supposed to go first. Why is that? Generally, women wear dresses, they wear skirts. You're not gonna have a woman go in first and have her slide to behind the driver in the back seat. You're gonna do that. That's the man's job, right? If the woman tears her dress or tears her skirt, that's bad. If you do, oh well, right? Because you're the man. You open up the car door, you go first, you slide across. The woman now gets in the car, sits immediately, and she shuts her own car door. The reason why it could backfire for 2 reasons. One is you're going first, and the woman is shutting the car door. So sometimes you're better off, and I'll give you a 3rd reason later, sometimes you're better off just opening up the car door, have that perception, you're allowing the woman to go first, she'll slide across if she has no problem with it, you get in the car, and now you're touching that dirty handle, and you're the one shutting the car door. It can really backfire on you if you're doing the appropriate thing in bad weather, right? It's raining out. What do? You open up the car door. I could just see it now. One of my friends, man, Michael, I can't believe it. He just opened up the cab door and he got in first and I'm standing outside in the rain. So you're better off opening the car door. It's in the rain. Let the woman go in first. She slides across and then you get in. Everyone saves face. No, and the third thing that I would say as far as breaking the rules, and I'll put on my, this is outdated, nobody does this anymore, that I'm rolling with is the fact that when a woman approaches, you stand up, right? When a woman gets up to go use the restroom in the restaurant, you stand up. So whenever time a woman approaches or leaves, you stand up. You don't really see anybody doing that anymore. And I hate to be like, well, nobody else does it kind of mentality, but you'll look like a tool if you do that. So for a while there, I was kind of practicing and I realized, okay, this is just overboard and you can actually look like a simp, as a matter of fact, like you're trying too much. Now, what I do is I do a modified version of it because I am a hugger. I'm a big believer in greeting. So when a woman approaches, I get to the restaurant first. I'm sitting down at the table. I do get up, but I'm not getting up for like, oh, I'm just getting up because the woman's there. I get up to hug her, escort her to her chair, okay? When a woman gets up to go to the bathroom, I'm still sitting down. She comes back, I'm still sitting down. So that's that. And remember, guys, women want to be rocked, especially when they get older. They become more confident. They want a strong, dominant, confident man. They want to be guided, protected, and treated special. Let's give it to them.